It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Glad to have you with us. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, glad to have you back with us again today as we go forth with another exciting day of news, information, and upcoming events across greater West Bloomfield.
Good morning, Tyler. Per usual, happy to be here. Happy to see your smiling face. It's a great it's a great day. Got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, there is a lot to talk about here, Kevin, and especially out of Keego Harbor, a developing story that happened in the early morning hours of Monday at the old Roosevelt Elementary School building. There was a break-in at that building that had caused a response from multiple local law enforcement departments as well as the West Bloomfield Fire Department assisting as well. I had a chance to talk with the Keego Harbor Police Department this morning before we went on the air today to get some details, clear the air, and clear some of the rumors that are going around about this incident at this time. So at this time, here is what we know about what happened at Roosevelt Elementary School. Two people are in custody following a break-in at that facility early on Monday morning. They are both in their 20s, and all indications thus far, based on the information collected from witness testimony as well as from those that were apprehended, this was a random act, and does not seem like this was part of any sort of coordinated effort other than between those that, of course, perpetrated this incident allegedly in the early mornings of Monday. They went in with intent to do damage to the building and were quickly caught by the Keego Harbor Police Department in partnership with West Bloomfield, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake Police Departments and Keego Harbor Police. We're very thankful for that response. That included some technology provided by West Bloomfield Police, who brought in one of their drones to help out in this response. The arraignment is incoming for these individuals, and at this time, there is no indication from the Keego Harbor Police Department that there is any other reason for concern, either for the old Roosevelt building or for nearby properties, including residences and businesses in the immediate area. Kevin, if people do have information on this incident, if they were eyewitnesses, if they saw any suspicious activity that may be relevant to this case, they should contact the Keego Harbor Police Department but with tips at 248-682-3030. Again, that is the main line for the Keego Harbor Police Department, 248-682-3030. They can also email tips if they have even more information or want to provide that detail in writing to Detective Robert Barnes. That email, barnes@khpd.org. We'll put that on your screen in a moment, barnes@khpd.org for any tips. And, of course, you can follow the Keego Harbor Police Department on Facebook for updates on this and any other incidents or information you need to know on the emergency services front from the heart of the lakes, facebook.com/Keego Police. So an incident at the old Roosevelt building on Monday. We will keep you updated as we get more information from the Keego Harbor Police Department on this developing story out of the heart of the lakes. On a more positive note, Kevin, in Oakland schools, some new leadership coming in and a familiar face from here in the West Bloomfield School District, where current West Bloomfield School District Board of Education Treasurer Carol Finkelstein was recently elected to the Oakland Schools Board of Education. Here she is on the right on your screen on civiccentertv.com, posing for a picture after her official election to that school board. A ton of experience coming in after years being a critical member of the West Bloomfield School District Board of Education. She'll now bring that knowledge to all of our school districts in the local area as she serves on the Oakland Schools Board. Congratulations to Carol.
Congratulations, Carol. Well deserved. I got a chance to meet her, and just a great person overall. Great energy, by the way. So Oakland Schools Board of Education just added a great person to their staff.
You can congratulate her on Facebook right now. The West Bloomfield School District posting about this on their Facebook page yesterday evening. Facebook.com/West Bloomfield Schools is the place to go for more information on that. And, of course, to provide your congratulations to Carol Finkelstein. On the student front, graduation season continued with the commencement for Oakland Early College students. And, Kevin, this includes not only students that are in high school and graduating from their K-12 education, but also those that have continued their college education before they go into a 4-year university program within the West Bloomfield School District and, of course, at Oakland Community College. And some of these students, Kevin, are pursuing academic courses at the college level while they're in high school, perhaps even obtaining an associate degree or multiple associate's degrees. So these are very accomplished students in their own right. They are academic achievers. They challenge themselves, and so we want to congratulate them as well on their accomplishments at Oakland Early College. If you want to learn more about Oakland Early College programs, you can go to oaklandearlycollege.org, and of course you can follow the West Bloomfield School District for more pictures from their commencement ceremony at West Bloomfield Schools on Facebook. Kevin, very accomplished students, a lot more smiling faces as another rite of passage complete in our local schools.
I want to give a big ups to their guidance counselors, their parents, the community, the teachers who kind of gave them that pathway and kind of let them know this is another path that you can take to kind of accelerate, your degrees, your education, and things of that nature. So shout out to the entire community, everybody that was involved in the students' careers and lives to kind of get them on that path. That is a great thing that gives them a great head start, Tyler. Congratulations to all the students.
Yeah, congratulations to all students in our local area who have been graduating or have been transitioning from one level of their schooling to the next. We think also about our elementary school students moving up to West Bloomfield Middle School, our middle school students moving up to high school, and even our college graduates maybe that are coming home and starting their careers at this time of the year.
True.
It is a really big time for those on the education front in our local community. Back in the city of Keego Harbor, Monday was a bittersweet day as they said a fond farewell to one of their longtime leaders after 6.5 years on the job. Chief John Fitzgerald of the Keego Harbor Police Department officially heading into his retirement on Monday. The chief spent his final day on the job taking pictures and smiling with a lot of the leadership of the community, including Rob Kalman, who the mayor posted on his Facebook page a picture not only of Chief Fitzgerald's first day on the job, but this picture you're seeing currently on your screen on civiccentertv.com, a selfie they took at City Hall on the Chief's final day. In the statement, the mayor said he'll miss his conversations with Chief Fitzgerald about his time playing collegiate football. Always an interesting conversation with Chief Fitzgerald. Here he is 6.5 years ago on your screen on civiccentertv.com, taking his official oath of office at a city council meeting, and Monday, his final day on the job. Among the duties he took on Monday was one final stop at a local bus stop saying hello to children on their way to school, and that included one child that he met years ago, early on in his time on the job. He was able to talk to one student that he met years ago, Riley, when she was a student at the old Roosevelt building, continuing her education. One final hello and a smiling face in the morning as she said goodbye to her longtime chief of police. Big congratulations to Chief Fitzgerald. You can congratulate him as well on Facebook at Keego Police. A lot of impact on this community in 6.5 years and big shoes to fill in Keego Harbor.
Man, say it again, Tyler. Once again, I want to say congratulations on your retirement, Chief John Fitzgerald. A lot of things you've done from the community, heard great things, man. But then you get to ride off into the sunset and retirement with your wife. Oh, man, that was our relationship goals. Congratulations again, Chief Fitzgerald.
Yeah, congratulations to the chief. The Keego Harbor Police Department is going to have some new leadership incoming. You can keep up to date on their search for their police chief on KeegoHarbor.org. This past weekend was Founders Day at Orchard Lake Schools just down the road from there, and a fun and fulfilling weekend for alumni to reconnect with some events on campus and even out on the golf course. Reporter Jake Schaff has the story.
No matter how many years go by, it's always important to show your pride and your support for where you originally came from. This past weekend was the annual Founders Day event held right here at Orchard Lake Country Club. An incredible weekend-long outing dedicated to giving back to St. Mary's and the Orchard Lake School District with a fun weekend of golf, drinks, and reminiscing about the good old days.
Well, Founders Day is really one of the original golf outings, I mean, literally in the United States. Father Joseph Dombrowski was the priest that began the Orchard Lake Schools, and he did that with the intent of educating largely Polish immigrants on our campus. Originally, the campus was the Michigan Military Institute. Eventually, Father Dombrowski brought the Orchard Lake Schools, or successors to him, brought the Orchard Lake Schools to the community that we're in now. And so Founders Day is a reference back to the original mission of the school.
And this is something that's celebrated every year, is that correct?
Yeah, we do it every year. We do a combination. Golf has been traditionally a component of it. It was the centerpiece to begin with. And we do an on-campus event, which was this past Saturday as well. We welcome alumni back for some different activities, and then we culminate with an evening party on campus that honors alumni and, again, is sort of a celebration of our Polish Catholic roots and education. What we really try to do is to make sure that alumni feel connected throughout their life. You know, they get to be part of a community that keeps them connected, and that's not only got a great way to keep them, you know, put something in their heart about their experience, but it keeps friendships going. And there's also practical benefits too, because if they're connected, then professionally they have this whole community of people out there that can be a benefit to them.
You know, St. Mary's, as they always do, they put together the best events. They've taken generations and brought us back together once a year to play this terrific golf course in where else better than in Orchard Lake, which we all went to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. So it's just a terrific event. Founders Day, it's exactly what it says about the event. It's the founders bring together all the different classes, and it's a terrific golf course. We've got a beautiful day.
How does it feel to give back to the school in this way after they've helped you so much?
It's the least we can do, and to get together and see all of our old friends and teachers, and you know, it's a special place. Not everybody has such fond memories going back to their high school, but Orchard Lake's a little bit different that way, I guess.
How do you hope to see this event continue to grow in the years to come?
Our goal is to make sure that we continue to invite alumni especially, but there's more than just that here. We have our community partners, and I have to say that, you know, the community that we're in at Orchard Lake, in Kego Harbor, in Bloomfield, it's a great community. We have great neighbors. We try to be a good neighbor, and they are great neighbors to us, and the community is fantastic. So we couldn't be more pleased to be where we're at. We have sponsors that come from throughout the community. We want to be good hosts to them and involve it, and then help us continue to keep our school strong.
It's such a great feeling to give back to a place that really helps shape you into the person you are today. I hope everyone had a great time this past weekend at the Country Club, and here's hoping that the bonds and memories will continue to grow for many years to come. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Plenty memories being made out on the links earlier this week as Orchard Lake Schools celebrated their Founders Day. That's what's really cool about that, Kevin, is it brings all these different generations together to share stories, probably even some similar experiences from their time in Orchard Lake Schools.
That is such a very cool thing. Like, usually you have like your every 10-year class reunions where you might see some people, whatever the case may be, but to do something like this, where you can see, you know, alumni and friends and students that you went to school, even teachers on a frequent basis out on a great golf course, especially if the weather's great. I imagine it's such a fantastic event. So I wish other schools would do something like this, bowling, softball, something, but something to kind of bring everybody together and have some fun. It's a great cause.
That's ultimately what you're doing as you're growing with the people you graduate with, as you're traveling through the journey of life with them, especially through your youth. You're building a community, and that community not only extends throughout your class, but to other classes and the generations as well. So great stuff from Jake and, of course, from Orchard Lake Schools as well. In West Bloomfield Township, some changes are on the way for their waste hauling services as of July 1st. They will be transitioning from GFL Environmental over to Priority Waste, and we could expect some growing pains in between now in the month of June through July 1st. So here to join us to talk more about this change and some of what residents should expect in West Bloomfield Township as this change is made is West Bloomfield Township Supervisor Steve Kaplan. Steve, thank you for joining us today.
Hello, Tyler. Always good working with you.
Yeah, glad to have you on to talk about this, as this is going to affect most, if not every, household in the greater West Bloomfield community, especially in West Bloomfield Township, many of whom are getting their waste hauling services provided by GFL at this time. What should families, what should households in our community expect in the coming weeks as GFL makes this transition out and priority waste comes in come July 1st?
For the next 3 weeks through June 30, GFL will continue to provide waste hauling and compost and recycling services. Residents should not notice a difference because the company has committed through contract, 7-year contract, to continue providing the services. The worst nightmare, of course, is if the former company, GFL, which only is in effect through June 30, decides not to provide services. But we've been assured they will. Tyler, there's some overlap between management at Priority and management at GFL. So we're confident that the garbage and the waste hauling and the yard waste and the recycling will be picked up through June 30.
And as this transition is being made, you mentioned that there's going to be some challenges along the way, and like what comes whenever there is a change in a contractor for a major service like waste hauling and recycling in the township. So what discussions have been had between the township and GFL, the township and Priority, to try to make that transition as smooth as possible for our residential homes and businesses?
Township leaders are meeting with Priority management and actually ownership later this week. Their main office is in Clinton Township, Macomb County. But among other things that we will demand and insist upon, is in terms of what power we have, number one, that the days of service remain the same. This is very important. 4 days per week, GFL picks up from residents and businesses in West Bloomfield, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5,500 households per day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. People are accustomed to the day assigned to their homes, and they do not want to have to adjust to a different day. We believe that they will honor that. Secondly, and maybe I'm Pollyannish here, but service was abominable for the past 3 weeks, and I'm hoping that they'll provide a discount or a refund to our residents of approximately $10 per household. Whether we can accomplish that is another issue, but we feel that GFL fell down on the job in the past 2.5 weeks, much to the consternation of our residents.
And that was something that was mentioned in a press release that was sent out by the West Bloomfield Township last week, that there's been a lot of turnover of the staff from GFL over the Priority waste in the past 3 weeks. That's part of the reason why, if residents have been noticing a change in perhaps the quality or the timeliness of their waste hauling, that's perhaps what may be behind that. But the good news about that is a lot of that staff that has been turning over has been going to Priority waste, so hopefully that will make for an even smoother transition come July 1st. Steve Kaplan is with us, the West Bloomfield Township Supervisor, as we talk about this transition in waste haulers and recycling haulers for West Bloomfield Township. Green for Life Environmental, or GFL Environmental, will be transitioning that contract over to Priority Waste effective July 1, 2024. Keep up to date on wbtownship.org. Steve, should there be any changes that are made or that the township becomes aware of, whether it's waste pickup days for certain areas of our township or the number of days that waste haulers will be venturing our community, how will residents be notified of that?
Good question, as always, Tyler. For one, it'll be on the township's website. Secondly, on the Township Supervisor's website. Thirdly, we'll notify Civic Center TV, and I'm hopeful that you would provide that information with scrolling at the bottom of the screen or however you do so.
Again, more information can be found on everything happening in West Bloomfield Township, including those important announcements from the Supervisor's Office, Clerk's Department, Treasurer's Department, and all departments across West Bloomfield Township on wbtownship.org. Steve, this is a really important contract. It's one of the largest working portions of the township each and every week. How much of a priority has this been since this announcement was made to make this transition as smooth as possible? And what sort of work is being done on a day-to-day basis, not only from your office, but across departments at the township to keep this in line, especially as we transition over the month of June into that July 1st date with Priority?
Well, first, you alluded to the fact that this is systemic, and it is. The poor performance of GFL in the past 3 weeks is county-wide. There are 21 townships in Oakland County. 19 of them use GFL. All 19 experienced the abominable and abysmal service that we've received in the past 3 weeks. So your question was, what are we hoping to accomplish, or how do we maintain services?
Yes.
So, as mentioned, there are professionals working for GFL. There's a gentleman named Dan Garman, and we think he's going to work for Priority. He's been a wonderful liaison for us. Now, in terms of staff information or helpful information from the township to the residents, West Bloomfield Township, and I don't know about other townships, has devoted approximately 1/2 employee per day to GFL issues. In other words, we have 2 employees who work they have 40-hour weeks, of course, but they're working half days, 2 half days on GFL matters. People call, we receive an abundance of calls. I think any resident who has called West Bloomfield Township about GFL service, whether good or bad, will acknowledge that we have been answering the calls at Town Hall. Unfortunately, we are, because if we had not answered calls in the last week, then the public would have had no idea when their garbage would have been picked up. So we try to provide as much information as we can.
More information, again, can be found, as well as updates, on wbtownship.org. If you do have concerns, 248-451-4800 between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. That's the main number for West Bloomfield Township, and you can navigate through for more information on that, or to express any concerns that may be had during this transition from GFL Environmental over to Priority Waste. Joining us on the Splash Live is West Bloomfield Township Supervisor Steve Kaplan. Steve, before we let you go, anything else that we should know or be keeping in mind, residents should be keeping in mind as we navigate through the month of June and head toward what hopefully will be greener pastures going forward with our waste hauling on July 1st with Priority?
Thank you, Tyler. Regarding the cost that residents will pay, the amount per year, it applied from April 1 through March 31, 2025. Residents were paying $260 per year for all the services, minus discounts for seniors and minus discounts for those who paid in full. That rate will stay the same. We've had about 40 calls from residents wanting to know, are my prices going up? I already paid my invoice. I shouldn't have to pay more money to a new company. The good news is they are honoring the contract that we had with GFL.
Yeah, per CBS News, Detroit, 75 municipalities, including West Bloomfield Township, affected by this change. So this won't be uncommon to us across Oakland County and southeastern Michigan in the coming weeks. Steve, thank you so much for this information.
Thank you so much, Tyler.
Yeah, glad to have you on to talk about this, as it's going to be an issue that will be a topic of conversation amongst residents in West Bloomfield. Already is, after that announcement in the statement earlier on, later in May, from West Bloomfield Township. Again, you can learn more information, keep updated on wbtownship.org as those services transition over. On a more positive note, some fun coming up that allows you to get engaged in nature and explore some little critters in our community, reptiles and amphibians, with our friends at West Bloomfield Parks. Kevin?
Yeah, little amphibians and whatnot. Reptiles is what we're talking about. There's a reptarium event happening with WB Parks, actually coming up June 22nd, I should say, 6 to 7 p.m. Get to see a variety of different reptiles and amphibians. Joining us here on the Splash Live to talk a little bit more about that event, we have from WB Parks naturalist team, Caitlin Stocker, joining us on the Splash. Thank you so much, Caitlin.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're talking about a very unique event. Please just give us some overview of what we're expecting.
Yeah, so just as you said, we are going to be having the Reptarium out to the Recreation Activity Center right on the Civic Center complex. They're going to be bringing I know alligators have been a topic of concern lately because of the whole Kensington situation, but we don't have to worry about that in West Bloomfield. But they will be bringing a baby alligator.
Wow.
I recommend around 5 and up for this program, just that way we can have calm bodies and sit in our seats for the entire show. But
Gotcha.
it will be a blast. We'll learn a whole bunch about some of these animals that they're bringing out. They won't be like our garter snake behind me or our tree frogs behind me, but they will be a little bit more exotic.
Sheesh, I thought that was like a green screen behind you. Those are real animals. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
goodness. Okay. All right. So listen, baby alligator. You
Mhm.
mentioned Kensington. Just very briefly, was there an alligator spotted at Kensington or something? Is that what we're talking about?
There was reports that a alligator
Yeesh.
was spotted, but it happens from time to time. And
Wow.
yeah, people always discuss it in Michigan from time to time. People do release baby alligators as a pet into nature. That's usually how it happens. But it's unsubstantiated. It's hard to say if there really was an alligator or not in Kensington.
Okay, so that was my question to you. I don't know if you're able to answer this, but are alligators like naturally in Michigan, or are we literally getting people that get pet alligators and, like you said, they grow up and then they just release them in Michigan?
Yeah, so we don't have any gators native to Michigan. From time to
Mm,
time, it is rare that it happens, but the
okay,
occasional pet owner will release a gator. It does
okay.
happen from time to time, but luckily it's very rare that it happens. Uh, but the whole purpose of seeing the Reptarium live is to show you animals that you might not ever get to see in
That's a fact.
person and that maybe you shouldn't have as a pet, but are really good to see from time to time.
That is a great, great point, as a matter of fact. Yes, in the rare occasion that you might see an alligator, maybe you'll have a little bit of knowledge on, what to do, what not to do, that type of thing. But also, yeah, I like that you highlighted that. Yeah, these may not be pets or that's suitable for home. This is something that you just go to the zoo, go to the reptarium and go check out. Other than that, keep it there because they're wild animals. They can grow wild beyond control also. So just
Absolutely.
besides the alligator, any other unique animals, reptiles that we're expecting from this event?
Just a variety of snakes, lizards, turtles, and some amphibians. So, probably some kind of salamanders, frogs, toads. So, a lot of fun to be had. It's definitely a great program to bring your grandkids or your children to. Definitely get that up close and hands on experience.
Nice. Joining us right here on the Splash Live from WB Parks Naturalist Team, Caitlin Stocker, talking about the Reptarium event June 22nd, 6 to 7 p.m. Registration also required Friday, June 21st. Is that correct?
You can register online at wbparks.org or you can call our customer service representatives at 248-451-1900.
Okay, Caitlin. All right. So, a couple things running through my mind still with this event. First and foremost, let's just start with this. What are we able to do? Are we just petting? Are we able to pet some of the animals, or is that completely off guard? Are we like letting some of the snakes go up our arm? Give us some more details on that. What are we able to do?
So, if you're familiar with the Reptarium, from time to time in their programs, they have brought snakes that you can hold. For the purpose of this program, we'll have to see how many animals they actually bring, but that is usually on the table is some handling.
Ooh-wee. So, with that being
And if
said,
yes, and if
go
not
ahead,
at
please.
this event, definitely check out the Reptarium too, because they have a lot of really cool events as well.
Caitlin, that's a real snake behind you. I'm seeing
It
it
is.
move, y'all. I'm sorry. It caught me off guard. I'm like, whoa. Okay, if you're watching on Civic Center TV, you can see the snake live in the back of Caitlin Stocker's office right there. So, okay, so my second thing is, with that being said, always got to talk about safety, right? How are we ensuring safety with these type of reptiles and the patrons that will be in attendance?
Yeah, so people like the Reptarium, or even myself, when we do animal programs, it's usually through lots of experience, and these animals aren't usually uh, going through a test round with a whole bunch of people. They usually have had a lot of experience meeting people, getting used to having to be part of a show. So that's usually part of the safety is just routine and slow exposure to people.
Completely get it, completely understand. Yeah, and with this also, we're talking about parents being there with their kids also. What about the fee? Have you gotten any feedback, since you said this has been going on for a while? Any feedback you've gotten back from the community, from the kids, the parents, in regards to this event, things that that they like, things that they I don't want to say didn't like, but things that they probably wanted to change? Anything of that nature you want to share?
So usually our live animal shows are some of our most popular, uh, probably because they're so fun. But that's usually the feedback we get is glowing positive reviews from it. So we have actually had the Reptarium out before to our nature camps, and they're great presenters. So I am looking forward to this upcoming event. It'll be really nice.
Absolutely. Great event. Very rare chance to check out baby alligators, something I only read in books about. Thank you so much again for your time, Caitlin. Any additional information about this event from WB Parks? Anything that you want to give out to the community while we still have you?
Yes, price. That's a really important thing to talk about. So for residents, it is $9 per resident, and for non-residents, it's $11, which is pretty impressive for 10 to 15 animals that they'll be bringing. So
Oh, wow.
yes.
10 to 15 different reptiles and amphibians. That seems very exciting. Make sure you register before Friday, June 21st. The event Saturday, June 22nd, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course, and get a chance to check out a bunch of great animals. Thank you again, Caitlin Stocker from the WB Parks Naturalist team, talking about the Reptarium event with WB Parks. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Such a great, exciting event, Tyler. I'm gonna be honest. I knew alligators weren't natural to Michigan, but for us to see people have alligators and just release them in the wild is crazy to me. But a great chance for kids and even parents like myself to actually see an alligator in person and possibly pet it. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, and evidently a great opportunity to learn that you probably shouldn't have alligators in Michigan. If you keep them as a pet,
That's a
probably
fact.
shouldn't release them into the wild in a
talk.
non-native environment where they're around people and other animals that they could do harm to. But hey, to each their own. It's a fun event nonetheless. You'll be able to explore safely reptiles and amphibians and learn a lot from our friends over at West Bloomfield Park. Something to celebrate for sure. As we're celebrating this time of the year, often we bring out the fireworks. We think about Memorial Day that just passed, 4th of July, that is coming up. And as we get our fireworks out and celebrate these occasions all summer long, we of course want to do so with safety in mind. Joining us for some helpful safety tips when it comes to fireworks is the West Bloomfield Township Fire Marshal, Byron Turnquist. Byron, thanks for your time today.
Good morning, Tyler. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you on to talk about this because fireworks come in all different shapes and sizes and power as well. And whether it's the big fireworks that we see in these organized fireworks shows throughout the summer season, or even just those sparklers we have at small family events, fireworks are always dangerous no matter whose hands they're in or what type that they are. So what are some of the basics people should know about fireworks safety?
Yeah, they can be really dangerous. They can be very enjoyable when they're used properly, but we hope that everybody has a safe summer, safe holiday season using fireworks, along with being respectful for their neighbors. So one of the first things that I'd like to touch on is this year, per township ordinance, which is the same in Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake, fireworks can be used June 29th through July 5th. 11 a.m. in the morning to 11:45 p.m. in the evening. That's an effort to try to be respectful to your neighbors. But the most important thing is while you're using fireworks is to have a clear, open area where you can safely light that firework and enjoy it without being too close to combustibles.
And that plays a big factor also into these bigger fireworks shows that we see, whether it's out on Cass Lake or on Pine Lake or Orchard Lake or anywhere throughout our community that these private and public shows are happening. They're often, well, in all cases, they are consulting with our local fire department for safety reasons. What sort of discussions do go into some of these larger shows that we see also?
The pyrotechnicians submit a plan with the type of devices that they're going to be using on the displays. That plan will include a site plan that shows that we have the proper safety radius determined by the size of the shells that they are planning on using. Some of the smaller lakes and smaller shows that obviously forces the pyrotechnicians to use a smaller sized firework. But we look at all of those. We're taking account to make sure that what they charge the Lake Owners Association or the country club is what they deliver for the show. And then we're on site at the show to make sure that that safety radius is met and maintained, and that they're igniting the fireworks safely and trying to just ensure a good evening for everyone involved.
And for individuals or for individual families that may be lighting fireworks just as a group during some of these occasions during that period of time, June 29th through July 5th, what is a safe distance in those cases?
Again, it depends on the size of the firework. Typically, what you're going to buy, and use are fountains or bottle rockets. You want to be in an open space. And the tricky thing with the ordinance and with the state law is that you have to use the fireworks on your property. That means you can't use the roadway. That means you can't go to the school and use their big open fields. You have to use your yard. The fireworks have to stay in your yard. And you want to keep them away from vehicles. You want to make sure that they're not on your deck. They want to be on a hard, flat surface, like a driveway or a patio. Again, not a deck, definitely not a composite deck. But you want to be safe away from the anything combustible, and you want to keep all the spectators clear of it too.
And it's also a matter of safety after you use the firework. Also, we've talked in the past about some things that residents can do after the firework has been done, or if maybe you get a dud in the group. What are some of those steps that people can take after they use a firework, or if one just doesn't work, doesn't go off?
Yeah, if you light a firework and it doesn't work, leave it alone. Just let it sit there. Don't go up and look over it. Don't try to reignite it. Stay away from it. Try to go to a different area if you're going to continue to use fireworks. And then after it's been, sitting there for an extended period of time, and then even your fireworks that you use, we recommend that you put them in a pail of water, let them soak overnight before you put them in the trash. All too often we see homeowners clean up after a fireworks evening or a 4th of July celebration, take all the fireworks, scoop them up, throw them in the garbage. And there could still be some smoldering embers in there, which could lead to a fire later in the evening. And we like to be invited to parties. We just want to be there for the party, not after the party.
More information can be found on WB Fire Department on Facebook. You can get all the information you need to know and some helpful tips all throughout the year on fire safety. Joining us today is the West Bloomfield Fire Marshal, Byron Turnquist, as we talk about fireworks safety in particular. And earlier on, I had mentioned as we started our conversation today that, of course, fireworks come in all different shapes and different sizes, whether it's those larger fireworks that we see in some of the big shows or sparklers that we often see handled by our children. And that, of course, brings up the necessity for education for our kids of all different ages as they're using fireworks. What should parents be taking into effect at this time as we get ready for that period of June 29th through July 5th?
Fireworks should really just be, reserved for the adults. Let the adults operate them. I know people love to light sparklers and let kids run around the yard. There's a burn injury hazard with sparklers. There's eye injuries if they trip and fall and can get poked in the face with a sparkler. And then one of the things I always hate to see is when kids throw the sparklers. They can be startled by the sparks and they'll toss it into the air, and then it's hard to find that at night in the lawn, and you'd hate for somebody to be walking through the yard in their bare feet and find that sparkler. So really all fireworks should just be used by anybody that's over 18. And I know around the 4th of July celebrations, alcohol is usually present, and anybody using fireworks, lighting them should be sober and not drinking.
And we know that accidents can happen. Somebody, like you said, throws a sparkler and it gets lost in the lawn. It doesn't cause a fire, but someone's walking around and they can step on that and get burned. Or there's a number of different incidents that can happen. When those do happen, what are the most important steps that people should take if there is a firework malfunction or some sort of an injury as a result of firework use?
Yeah, it's always a good idea to have a fire extinguisher readily accessible and available. If you don't have a fire extinguisher handy, make sure that you have a hose that's turned on and ready to be used in the event if something goes wrong. Main thing is have a safe distance. Don't try to reignite anything that didn't fire properly, and soak the fireworks before you put them in the garbage.
Byron, we know people want to capture the moments. Often when fireworks are coming into play in the summer, it's for a special occasion like the 4th of July. And so they bring out video cameras or even drones in many cases to capture these occasions. But when we combine the safety concerns of fireworks and then drones, what should be considered or what should be kept in mind by residents that may be trying to utilize technology during these sorts of displays?
Again, try to do it. Make sure you're doing it from a safe distance. With the drones, if you want to risk your drone and put it up in the air, a firework or may hit it. It's hard to say what direction it's going to go, and when you're flying around a drone up in the sky, the distances can be hard to judge. So yeah, you can get some cool footage. Technology is amazing with what you can capture today. And just again, can't emphasize enough, distance is your friend. You want to make sure you're a safe distance away from anything that's going to explode.
Helpful fire safety tips are available all throughout the year on Facebook at WB Fire Department. You can also find more information and contact the West Bloomfield Township Fire Department, which also serves our Tri-Cities in Greater West Bloomfield, by visiting wbtownship.org. We're joined right now by their Fire Marshal, Byron Turnquist, on today's edition of the Splash Live. Byron, before we let you go, we know that there's a number of different misconceptions that people may have about fireworks safety or about some of the dangers. What are some of the more common misconceptions that we do here this time of the year that the fire department in particular really wants to dispel as we get ready for fireworks season?
Again, a firework is essentially they try to control an explosion. So you need to understand what's happening with the fireworks and be prepared for the surprise. If something goes wrong, if a firework isn't built right, it's designed to shoot straight up, it could tip over at the last second and shoot sideways. Just can't emphasize enough being safe, keeping a safe distance away from the firework, just in case something goes wrong. Having a pail of water when people think that they're out and they've been sitting on the patio for an hour or so, still soak those fireworks in water. Don't put them in the garbage can and wheel that garbage can right into the garage. Every 4th of July, we end up with a garbage can fire or a garage fire, basically just for improper disposal of the fireworks.
Any questions you may have, you can contact the West Bloomfield Township Fire Department, 248-409-1505, 248-409-1505. Byron, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You as well. You can always keep up to date with the West Bloomfield Township Fire Department by visiting their Facebook page for even more tips all throughout the year on WB Fire Department on Facebook. Really important information as we get ready to celebrate these special occasions. People will bring out the fireworks, of course, that is regulated for during a specific time, June 29th through July 5th. The ordinances that apply in West Bloomfield do also apply to Keagle Harbor, Orchard Lake Village, and Sylvan Lake as well, per their agreement as part of the Tri-City Fire Board and Tri-City Fire Department. Kevin, plenty more fun on the way for people looking for some fun events to attend, maybe with their families or even with their dogs.
There you go, Tyler. Segway King. Yes, Drinking with Your Dogs event is coming to West Bloomfield. And there's a group that's responsible for this unique event that we're inviting to the Splash Live. Join us right now, Director of Marketing and Client Experience from K9 to 5 Metro Detroit. We have Samantha Hilmer. Join us on the Splash. Thank you for your time, Samantha.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So, such a unique event. As soon as I saw Drinking with Your Dogs, what are we doing here? So before I even start to go into what I think it is, just tell us what we're expecting from this unique event.
Yeah, so it pretty much is just that. It's Drinking with Dogs. So we partner up with local businesses around our locations, and we invite the community of dog lovers to come with their dogs and have a drink with us. So it's a great way to bond with the community over a shared interest, for sure.
Nice. And we're talking about this event, which is Wednesday, June 19th at the Library Pub, correct?
Yeah.
So let's talk about why this business specifically within West Bloomfield was chosen.
Yeah, so we like to look at locations. So any place that's around a local K9 to 5. So we have K9 to 5 in Commerce Township, And then we look at somebody that has a really nice outdoor patio that's going to be safe for the dogs. So we don't like to have the dogs all on top of each other. The library
Mhm.
pub has a nice fenced in patio area as well. So we think it's going to be perfect for this type of event.
Okay, yep. Now that makes sense. You still want to let them, roam a little bit, have some freedom, not be out in the hot sun, a little bit of shade or whatever the case may be. So that definitely makes sense. And it's great that you are bringing this event to the West Bloomfield community. We have a great community of dog lovers here, so I think it's very exciting for them to get out there and be a part of this. So this is not the first. This isn't the inaugural event for you all. So how has this event evolved over the last couple of years?
Yeah, so we've actually been doing this since 2007. So we started with our Midtown Detroit location. We've been doing them in Detroit for a very long time. And they've evolved just to expand throughout our other locations. So we have a Ferndale location. We just opened an East Side Detroit location. So we have some Grosse Pointe drinking with dogs, and we have some Commerce, around Commerce Township drinking with dogs. So it has definitely blown up since 2007 to, there's a lot of people that come to these. And now we've expanded to help local rescues get involved too with these events.
Okay, okay. All right, Samantha, you ready? Here's my stupid question. Drinking with dogs. We're at the library pub. I'm assuming the owners are possibly drinking adult beverages and the dogs are maybe drinking water. Or are the
Yes.
dogs at the bar? Are the owners drinking with the water? I just want to.
Sometimes, so we've had one event, I think it was maybe last year or 2 years ago, where like at the Hammer and Nail in Detroit, where they did make a doggy cocktail. So some events, they do make doggy cocktails. Usually it is just water though.
Wow, that's okay. Yeah, yeah. But that's nice though. Overall, it's just talking about bringing the owners, their pets together, and just camaraderie, letting the pets meet other pets, talk dog talk or however they do, whatever the case may be, and just have great camaraderie. Join us right here on the Splash Live, Director of Marketing and Client Experience from K9 to 5 Metro Detroit. We have Samantha Hilmer talking about the Drinking with Dogs events Wednesday, June 19th at the Library Pub. Is there any registration required for this event at all?
No, this event is free. It's open to the public. We just ask that all the dogs are, of course, leash friendly. Everybody has to stay on leash. If anybody seems uncomfortable, we do have staff there that, might ask you to leave. So we just want to make sure everybody has a good time.
Oh, okay, okay. So this isn't necessarily going to be just dog owners and dogs either. This is actually, you can still be a regular patron and come in, but obviously the establishment and you all are making sure, like you said, everyone is comfortable, no one's there. Like if you're allergic to dogs, they'll probably tell you in advance, type of thing. So okay,
Yeah.
thank you for that information. So how do you feel like events like this actually help community engagement, if it does at all?
It does help community engagement because there's already a really big following around these drinking with dogs events. Like I said, we've been doing them for a long time. So not only do we have like the regular people who come to every single drinking with dogs events, they tell their friends. It kind of spreads around. The internet is a nice tool for this, so it spreads around on the internet. And it gets people involved. When we expand out to our other locations like Commerce Township, it helps just draw that area in as well.
Mm.
And of course, incorporating the local rescue that, helps us as well get the community more involved.
Oh, okay, so that was great segue. I want to transition into that and just talk about how is it so, just impactful for you all to partner with local dog and animal rescues and just talk about that partnership.
Yeah, so one of our core value, our mission statement is to provide exceptional care for dogs, and we like that to extend beyond just the dogs in our actual care. So we want to take exceptional care for dogs for all, for all dogs. So we love to reach out to Detroit Dog Rescue, Michigan Humane, like the Midwest Small Breed Rescue. We've helped a lot of local rescues benefit their dogs by just, donating, by providing adoption events, in these events where they're going to be able to be there, they'll bring an adoptable dog. people can have the opportunity to donate right on site.
Oh, that's nice. That's what's up. And I always highly encourage the adoption of dogs or going to a shelter and helping out animals that are looking for owner rather than going to a pet store. I mean, I understand it, but there's plenty of animals that are already out here that need that love, need that, companionship. So it's great that you all are partnering with local rescue organizations to make things like this happen. So real quick, let's just take some time just to give some information out about K9 to 5. What are some of the other services and things that you all do and offer?
Yeah, so K9 to 5 has doggy daycare, overnight dog boarding, and dog grooming. What's unique about K9 to 5 is we have an overnight attendant. So if your dog does have to stay with us overnight, there's somebody in the building with them. Doggy daycare is great, even if you work from home. I know a lot of people work from home now. Their dog's bored out of their mind at home. So it's not just for babysitting. We provide enrichment, companionship, exercise. So everything that you need so your dog doesn't drive you crazy. And then dog grooming, of course, is important no matter what type of coat your dog has. We do have haircuts, but just baths, nail trims, teeth brushing, all that good stuff is really beneficial for your dog.
Nice, nice. Are there any additional events that K9 to 5 has coming up in our local area that we can be, or just anything that you want to promote with the events from K9 to 5?
Yeah, for sure. So actually on Sunday, June 3rd, we are starting to do these canine community walks on the West Bloomfield Trail. So we're gonna have one on Sunday, June 3rd, but after that, June 23rd, sorry. After that, we're also having kind of like a workshop where you can craft enrichment toys for Detroit Dog Rescue shelter dogs. So that's gonna also happen on June 23rd from 12 to 2 at K9 to 5 Commerce. You can make little we're gonna have like PVC pipes, and you can make little enrichment crafts for the shelter dogs.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Great that you all are doing those different things just to get out in the community, get involved, have activities for dog owners and dogs together. That is a great thing, just to kind of break up the monotony of being in a home all day type thing. So I completely understand that. Any additional information regarding this event that we didn't cover, or anything at all regarding K9 to 5 that you want to give to the community before we let you go?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
Okay. So no registration fee or anything, no cost, right? Just
No.
Okay, good. Just making
Free
sure.
and open to the public. Just got to make sure we have a leash friendly dog.
Absolutely. More information, k9to5.com. Director of Marketing and Client Experience for K9 to 5 Metro Detroit, Samantha Hilmer. Thank you so much for your time and joining us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Tyler, when I first saw this event, we saw this event together, I said, drinking with dogs. This is either going to have people drinking out of dog bowls, or dogs are going to be at the bar playing pool like they do in that one painting. But nonetheless, man, great event to kind of get dog owners and the community together. For more information, k9to5.com.
Dogs should be the bartenders. Everyone just gets a bowl, and they just have to drink that
Nice.
way. That's the way to make a scene
Nice.
out of that. Get a new painting made right here in West Bloomfield. Still, fun event coming up there at
Yep.
the Library Pub in West Bloomfield from K9 to 5, and happy to have Samantha on to talk about that. Now, Kevin, we've done a lot of talking lately about native plants, about gardening, opportunities to learn about plants and gardening in our community, but also some resources are available through our local library. At the West Acres branch of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, they have their seed library, which features a number of different seeds that people can check out and plant in their gardens, from crimson sweet watermelon to common chives, Midori soybeans, some select flowers, and even more. So you can come on by and at the West Acres branch during the regular hours, check out their seed collection. And when you do, and you plant those seeds in your garden at home or a community garden in our local area, wherever you do plant those, take some pictures as they grow, as they develop, maybe as you harvest some of these plants from your gardens as well. And make sure to tag the West Bloomfield Township Public Library on Facebook at West Bloom LIB. Even more resources than books, videos, and other media, Kevin, helping people in the garden.
That's why I love the library, Tyler. I used to rent guitars from the library, Wi-Fi routers, hotspots out of the library. It's so much more than books. Me and my son go to the library just to be in the atmosphere sometimes. I always in the library. So I love things like this, seeds, and it'll be so full circle to see someone get a seed from the library, plant it, watch it grow and sprout, and then go to a local farmer's market and then kind of give that out to the community. So I would love to see stuff like that.
Yeah, great stuff happening at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, and you can keep up to date on all their programs and, of course, check out all their materials all throughout the year, as well as their online resources, wblib.org. In the heart of the lakes, Rose Sorter Park in Keego Harbor just got a lot brighter. New lights were installed over the weekend at the gazebo behind City Hall in Rose Sorter Park, hoping to make for even more fun events and some relaxing ambiance out there over the summer season as you enjoy the cool summer breeze in the evening outside in the middle of the summer, or these fun events like the Keego Harbor block parties that are coming up. Keego Harbor Parks and Recreation posting this picture you're seeing on CivicCenterTV.com. All the new lights on display and fully working, a courtesy of the donation that they made by the Dillon family, and then these were installed by the Douglas family. Certainly will help the block parties that begin in just a couple of weeks on the 21st. And of course, you can find more information on updates being made across Keego Harbor Parks and Recreation and all their fun events on Facebook at KH Parks and on the Keego Harbor website at KeegoHarbor.org. Kevin, we see the lights go up during the holiday season, right around Christmas time in Rose Sorter Park. Now some permanent lights up there. Looks fantastic.
That's what you need during the summer, a nice outside spot to chill, got great light. I can already see that being a nice spot for people to come together right after the block party, community events, and just sit there and talk for hours. That's perfect. That's right on time for the summer, too.
Hey, sit on the bench there, stretch your feet out a little bit if you can, and stretch your legs out with a good book. A nice summer evening watching the sunset in the park. That's what it's all about in Keego Harbor. Speaking of getting involved in the parks, of course, there's the new Keego Harbor Connect initiative starting this summer to get people into all of Keego Harbor's parks spread throughout the city for fun events and a way to meet some of the neighbors. The first of those kicks off over the weekend at Paint a Park Post. That will happen at Tate Optimist Park, which is located on Rycroft, just off of Orchard Lake Road and the West Bloomfield Trail. So here's what's going to happen, Kevin. They got all these posts that are along the street on Rycroft around Tate Optimist Park, 83 of them. In particular, people can bring their paint, they can bring their brushes, any other materials, and paint some new designs on those wooden posts, bring some color and bring some creativity to the park. Pretty cool.
Yeah, turn that into a canvas, paint it, and leave your mark right there so you can always drive by and say that you contributed to the beautification of Keego Harbor. So that seems pretty nice right there. Great opportunity for local creatives and artists to kind of put their stamp out there.
Before we get our artists making their stamp on the Keego Harbor community over the weekend, we'll have some artists coming into town for yet another concert in Sylvan Lake. The next Sylvan Lake concert happens tonight as the barbershop concert featuring the Pontiac Waterford Big Chief Chorus will be holding their show at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. That kicks off tonight at 7 o'clock. The admission is donations to benefit the chorus and the Well of Waterford charity. Refreshments will be provided. You can see even more events happening in Sylvan Lake and keep up to date with all the concerts happening at the community center and around town on sylvanlake.org. We had a great first concert of the season in the Sil Sunsets concert series last week. Another one tonight, Kevin.
Should be nice. Let me say, pending weather, great time. Great time. Get out there with some friends, get the lawn chair, and just chill. I love that our local municipalities and communities are doing things like that right in time for the summer, man.
Yeah. Paraphrasing a philosopher, it's always sunny in Sylvan Lake. Plenty more to get to all throughout the week here on The Splash Live. So much going on across our 4 communities. You can always keep up to date with us on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, on YouTube at Civic Center TV, and of course on CivicCenterTV.com. For our entire team, Calvin Brown and Jake Schaff at Master Control and Kevin McIntosh, I'm Tyler Kieft. Thanks for tuning in to The Splash Live.